Today's video is all about this stuff right here. I'll be showing my fractional world gold collection, and we'll be having a little conversation. Hey, if you like gold, stay tuned. T. Hello, silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for silver and gold education, acquisition, and entertainment. And hey, before we get started in today's video, this is my humble request for a like and a sub. If you like learning about, figuring out how to acquire more, and looking at precious metals such as gold, please subscribe. So hey, why gold? Well, I can think of several answers to that question right off the top of my head. It's a store of wealth, it's beautiful, it's liquid, it's compact, it's universal, everybody on the planet appreciates it, and it is eternal. It has been a store of wealth since the beginning of time. Now the question is, why fractional? Why little pieces like this little 2 pesos from Mexico? Look at that little guy right there. This is one of the first little fractional pieces of world gold that I ever purchased. I'll put him right here in Mexico where he belongs. Fractional works for my budget. And, I'll be honest, every time I want to buy a coin, I don't have $2,000 or something close to it to shell out for an ounce of gold. So I buy fractional. But on the other end of that, not that many other people have $2,000 laying around to purchase an ounce of gold. So it's easy to sell. People are okay with buying a smaller amount of gold because for most of us, it fits our budget. Now, not all of my gold is world gold. Here is a nice piece from 1905. Look at that pre-33 gold. How beautiful is that? A nice piece from the good old USA. Now, I know some of you watching this just like filling tube after tube with American Gold Eagles, whether they are 1/10 ounce or quarter ounce, half ounce, or even full ounce if you're blessed to be in that position. As for me, I like the variety. There was, well, before I pull away there, look at that Mexican eagle. Very beautiful. The 5 pesos. Now back to the good old USA. How about this Indian with the incuse design? Let's put him out west. And then, we have the French rooster. Here we go. And of course, a British sovereign. No collection is complete without one of these. I chose the one with the young queen. And there we go. Let's put her where she belongs in Great Britain. Now I'm showing you these in the order that I purchased them. Here is a little panda. He goes in China. And then we go all the way to South Africa. Look at that. Beautiful little Krugerrand. 1980. Here we go. Now, some of you may remember when I purchased this one, you saw me make a video on my very first ever gold Libertad from Mexico. This is the obverse here, and I will put it right there in Mexico. Now, last but certainly not least, my most recent purchase, this little 10 francs from Austria. Look at that little beauty. Love it. 1892, I do believe this was a restrike, but gorgeous nonetheless. So for those of us who love gold, the question is, hey, how do we get more of these shiny little things to fill this map? A means to that end is investing your cash with the hopes of growth. A specific investment to consider is a junior mining company called Gold Mountain. I was privileged to have a conversation with the company's CEO, Kevin Smith. The remainder of this video will consist of that very interesting conversation. Now, please remember, I am not a financial advisor, and I would strongly encourage you to do your own due diligence and research prior to investing in any company. But for now, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Kevin Smith, CEO of Gold Mountain. Mr. Smith, thank you so much for joining me on my channel. It's a pleasure to have you, and I really look forward to this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today. Really excited to share a story with you.
Now, your bio that I've seen online says you have extensive experience in organizing finance and construction of commercial and industrial development projects. Hey, it sounds like you have a knack for putting massive deals together. Is that your forte?
Yeah, a lot of my experience prior to Gold Mountain was in real estate. So just putting together deals, financing them, seeing them to be built out, and then marketing and selling them on the other side. I got into mining through a gentleman named Tukey Angus, who's become a business partner of mine. And he encouraged me to get into the mining game with him and learn about it. And this is his and my first deal together. So just kind of taking what I've learned in other industries such as real estate development and pushing forward in the mining industry, which has been really exciting.
So, hey, I think my viewers probably have a pretty good idea of the type of go-getter that you are professionally. But how about personally? Do you feel comfortable sharing with the audience what kind of things you are into outside of business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a Vancouver guy, born and raised just outside of Vancouver in a small town called Langley.
Okay.
Yeah, grew up out there for many years. When I started my real estate development, I was commuting to the city and ended up moving to the city. I've been really focused on my career. I'm only 37 years old. Recently, I have a daughter who's 2.5 years old. So when I'm not working, I try to spend as much time as possible with the family. And yeah, I'm really enjoying being a new dad.
Congratulations on being a relatively new dad. Those are great years ahead of you. Hey, as a kid, did you grow up doing any fishing or outdoor activities up there in Canada?
Absolutely. Yeah, we were a very outdoorsy family, lots of hiking, fishing. BC's a pretty outdoorsy type place to live. So, taking in as much of that as we can. My family, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family too. So we worked a lot, but when we did have downtime, definitely like to get out in the great outdoors and enjoy what we have here in BC.
Well, hey, thank you for taking a moment to give a little bit about your background and even some personal stuff there. Let's switch over to Gold Mountain Mining. Describe your vision of becoming a predominant gold producer in the Canadian mining space.
Yeah, so we bought this project back in 2019 from Equinox, which is a larger producer. That company came together as a flurry of mergers and acquisitions. And this was one project that they had sitting on the shelf, the Elk Gold Mine. It was a past producer. It was already permitted, but they were focused in other areas. So we were fortunate enough to make a deal with them to purchase it for $1 million down. And the remaining $9 million is all cash over 5 years. So we've paid $3 million of that so far. And we've got $6 million remaining. 3 will be this coming May, which will be paid through the proceeds of mining, as well as $3 million next May. So, for $1 million down, we feel like we got about $70 million of infrastructure, historic drilling, and upgrades to the property. The project had 375,000 ounces when we bought it. They were really focused on some high-grade areas on the property when they produced in the past, and we recognized an opportunity that this could be a much larger resource and a really high-grade open pit mine that could self-fund expansion, not only on the mining end of things, but also on the exploration side of things. So we've driven it relatively quickly. We went public December of 2020, and we're already in production. And we've also increased the ounces to over 1 million. We see a lot of upside potential, not only in the areas we have resources already, but we found 2 new areas that we've already delineated resources, and we have many more on the property that we're going to continue drilling out. So our long-term vision for this project is multiple high-grade open pits that are feeding a self-funding expansion model, and then go out and find similar assets like this that are maybe a little bit overlooked and underappreciated, that we see the ability to get into near-term cash flow. And we're very bullish on precious metal prices. So these will be little cash machines that we can use to self-fund our expansion to become a larger gold producer here in Canada.
Now, it sounds like a tremendous opportunity to have that huge advantage of having the infrastructure already present and ready for you to take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely. This project came with 127,000 meters of historic drilling. We're going in there and relogging all that old core. And 40% of the ounces that we've added to our resources are just from relogging that core. So it shows that, with modern technology, there's a lot of ounces in the ground that were overlooked, and we're able to pick them up for extremely cheap cost of exploration. So we're very excited about the successes we've had so far on building out this million-ounce producer.
So you've got gold and silver on that property. What's the ratio of each?
So 90% of our resource, the value would come from the gold, and then 10% would come from the silver. But with our outlook on silver prices, we think that ratio can change dramatically if prices go the direction that we're hoping and seeing just from a sort of global economic macro front.
Now, obviously, I have a silver stacking channel. I also diversify my stack with gold. I cannot imagine, with all the factors swirling around in the world right now, and I can't imagine gold and silver not going up in the days and weeks and months and years to come.
Yeah, we share the same sentiments. I mean, when we bought this project in 2019, gold was at 1175. Everyone thought we were crazy,
Huh.
but we really recognized from a macro perspective all of this money printing and inflation that was upon us. We felt that the time was right to position, and we feel very fortunate with the luck we've had so far. Obviously, still lots of upside to go, and I still think gold and silver are undervalued even at today's prices. But obviously a great increase to date since we acquired it.
Hey, I just wanted to touch on something that we discussed just a tad bit earlier. Mr. Angus and Mr. Henning, you've got two of the best there on your side in this endeavor.
Yeah, so Tukey Angus, who's the chairman of K92, which has obviously been a smashing success. He's a bit of a mining legend here in Canada, and I was fortunate enough to meet him a few years back, and him and I decided to start working together. And he's kind of been a mentor to me on building out this project and starting in a new industry in mining. So it's huge to have his support. And then Quinton, he actually tried to buy this project, I think 5 or 6 years ago, unsuccessfully. And when he found out we had it, he was super excited. He's been telling us to point our drills deeper because he thinks that's where the real opportunities are. And sure enough, the drills have been hitting that depth. And he's another guy with a lot of experience who's looking over our shoulder and advising us on how to make this elk project a big a success as possible.
Now, hey, way back in November, I did a video on Gold Mountain Mining, and I learned enough about the company to be compelled to buy some stock. And hey, over the last month, it's doing really, really well. Can you tell me a little bit about the catalysts that are driving that price to go up and do so well lately?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of bottomed there, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for this news on the permit and us being able to deliver ore to New Gold, our ore purchase partner.
Hmm.
And having hit that milestone, we've kind of checked every box that we said we would when we went public. We told the market we wanted to build a million-ounce producer, and we've done that. And I think people are starting to turn on to our story, but we're getting a lot of phone calls from people who've never heard this story before and are very excited about it. And I still think there's a lot of opportunity for people to get in early on what is really a story that's just starting to get out right now. So I do think the news has definitely been a catalyst. We've got lots of exciting exploration results coming down the pipeline, just waiting for some assays from the lab. And, we're going to continue delivering ore. And I think once we can start showing the market just how profitable this Elk mine can be, I think it's going to drive even more excitement. So still very early. I mean, the sentiment in the precious metals miners space is about as low as I've seen it since I've gotten started. And I really think that tells you we're just about on the cusp of a major bull here. And we're really excited to be involved in the space and have an opportunity to capture in on some of that excitement.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, and I certainly appreciate the time. Is there anything else that you think my viewers should know about Gold Mountain mining before we end here?
Yeah, no, I think it's just really important for people to recognize sort of the unique scenario here. We're a fairly new mining issuer, 14 months since we originally went public. In that short period of time, we've signed a bunch of really important contracts and agreements in order to get ourselves back into production. We've got all the permits necessary to go into production. We've built the mine, financed the mine. We are now in production. And we've done all that while keeping an extremely tight share structure. We have 70 million shares issued and outstanding at the moment, and fully diluted, we have 85 million shares. So you're going to be hard pressed to find another company where we've defended the share structure this well. And on top of that, you've got management with a lot of large ownership. You're seeing institutions starting to come into the market and really start to take a shine to this story. And I really think it's early days, especially with where we are in the gold and silver cycle. I think it's an excellent opportunity for people to take a look at and consider.
Well, Mr. Smith, hey, you've got the property, you've got the infrastructure, you've got the team, you've got everything it takes to be successful. And I can tell you are a very driven man as well as the leader of Gold Mountain Mining. So I wish you nothing but the best. I really appreciate the time. And hey, I'm already looking forward to the time and we can get together and have a follow-up conversation and talk about the successes that I am sure that you will have going forward. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it and can't wait to come back and share some more updates with your audience.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks again.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.